Okay, so like I said before, I know that I hardly talk really in any of my videos, especially not my Elden Ring videos, except for the one that I was talking about Godwyn. And when I do record my voice, it's always in a separate audio device that I then add in post in editing. But this time I'm actually talking while I'm playing using my in-game microphone because there's something very interesting and amusing that I wanted to talk about, and it's not something that I could really edit in post, you know, recording my audio while watching my own gameplay. It's something that I wanted to talk about while I was playing, making it a little easier, so I wanted to show that now. I have no idea what a Lanedale Knight is doing here. There's got to be some lore to it, but I don't know it. Speaking of lore though, this whole video's point actually is how knowing the lore of the game can actually save your life. And not to brag or anything, but I don't die very often in this game. Like, certainly I die more in this than I've died in any of the previous Souls titles, especially Dark Souls 1. But, for instance, this rune arc that I have active right here, let me just say that I'm recording this video right now. Like, the day that this video is uploaded, I've recorded it like maybe 2-3 days in advance. The video that was uploaded the day before this one is almost a year old, so that goes to show how out of order that I'm recording this. Later on you'll see that I have a rune arc active, and that is the same one that I have active right now, so I'm really big on self-preservation and not losing my resources. However, I want to talk about a very amusing death that I had that I think could have potentially been very avoidable. Something that if I'd been paying attention to the area and knew the lore that I talked about with Godwyn, I very well could have recognized it before I died. And this is a very relevant spot here. You don't recognize it. This is a spot where we fight a Tibia Mariner. You can recognize it because the water is very gray and murky. It's a sign just like the gray liquid that was coming out of Godwyn's eyes after his soul was slain. And yeah, this is where you fight a Tibia Mariner. It's connected to Godwyn. They appeared in the wake of him becoming the Prince of Death, living in death and spreading it around, causing skeletons to rise up without any soul. And these places are also marked by Deathroot that have Godwyn's eyes on them that you can see him watching us from. If I can point my weapon's tip to his eye to show it. Right there's his eye. And in areas very close to here, there are some grave sites where skeletons come up, again, influenced by Godwyn. However, if we travel further south, there is a very peculiar enemy that I had a very amusing death to. It's something, like I said, I could have avoided had I been paying attention, but I wasn't, and so I didn't. It's this giant crab right here. And, like, giant crabs are no issue normally. If you've seen my Dark Souls 3 videos, I love fighting them, and they're no different in this game, except they're a lot weaker. So I was having fun. I was running through the area, clearing out all the enemies of Liurnia. I think it was one of the last ones. Something I didn't pay attention to, though, and you can see it from here, even. His shell is not normal. It's not like the other crabs. In fact, if we were able to get a better angle look, you would actually see that his shell has Godwyn's face on it. And if we were to pay attention to the surroundings, this is some murky, gray water that has Deathroot. So this area has Godwyn's influence, and this crab is eating from it. And while I was fighting this crab, I saw that he was spewing a mist, and I knew that some crabs could spew sleep mist, and I'd never been hit by the sleep status before, so I wanted to see what happened. But instead, you'll see what happens. I let him hit me with it, and instead, I got death bladed. Huge shocker for me, I was not paying attention to what status was building up at all. I thought it was sleep, but no, it was Deathblight. Had I known Godwyn's story at the time, had I been paying attention and I'd seen the surroundings, I would have known that that was not sleep. I would have known that the area he was in, he was probably tainted by death, or more specifically by Deathblight. So, surroundings, knowing the context of where you are and what you're fighting, that can actually really help you.